WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from the Annandale distillery. We have the man of words, the man of swords, you put the S at the beginning instead of the end, is the peated version, 45 ppm. Here we have an unpeated version. So we have the same tin that's used for everything. This little sticker here tells you what you have. Or you can actually take out the bottle and have a bigger little sticker here that tells you what you have as well. The rest of the bottle is exactly the same for everything. All right, so what do we have here? We have here a Founder's Selection. We have matured in a fresh, once filled, double oaked ex-bourbon cask with 61.6% ABV, distilled 2018, bottled 2023, cask number 511, and bottled number 97. Now, I bought this bottle because of two little words, doubled oak. Due diligence is not my thing. I thought that this was double oak, which meant for me, oh, they took out of the one barrel and put it in the second barrel. No. So this whiskey, now this is reading from the Annandale Distillery.com website. This whiskey was matured for, the one I'm reading about was 6 years. The one I have here is 5 years in a Woodford Reserve double oak barrel. Wow, I fell for it, didn't I? Making it one of the oldest Annandale's releases on the market. Not this one, the other one. And each of these double oak casks are subject to a longer, heavier toasting period followed by a light charring level, which allows more of the wood sugars held within each cask stave to caramelize, thus creating additional amounts of soft, sweet oak character. What this ultimately leads to is a cask fantastic for maturing our unpeated new make spirit and a wonderfully dark whiskey with exuberance hints of toffee, caramel, and hot treacle. Basically, like a maple syrup if you're not in Europe. A superb complement to those distinctive fresh orchid fruits and tropical notes of the Annandale Distillery New Make Spirit character. Whew. All right, 75 euros 90 cents. I'm going to compare it to this here. Ding, ding, ding. An Annandale Founders. So what was it? Founders Selection. This was 2015, distilled, bottled 2020, so 5 years as well. And that was cask number 537. This is 511. I have the feeling that they just repeat the numbers each year again. So which I think is not a great idea. I like to have a unique cask number each time. So imagine, hey, I have cask 511. I do too. Oh, we must have the same one. Well, mine was distilled 2017. Oh, mine was 2018. And just, no. Have unique cask numbers and not just for each year, especially when you're doing more than one product at a time on the market. Now, I personally do not 100% understand the marketing strategy of Annandale. Now, I own a cask at Annandale. I bought a Madeira cask during the COVID, and it's up there, and it should be matured in a couple more years. One day I'm going to visit them, hopefully before the cask is actually then filled. Now, this is what I don't understand. If I go to the website of Annandale, which I was just on, and I want to buy a cask, there are 20 different casks I can buy from at least. So we have First Fill Brown-Forman, Woodford Reserve, Ex-Bourbon, we have Jim Beam, we have Maker's Mark, we have Buffalo Trace, we have O.Z. Tyler, which is no longer in existence. It's called Green River, and so I don't know why you're having O.Z. Tyler still in there, but that's okay. Pinhook. Pinhook doesn't even have a distillery. It's MGP, but hey, you can have a Pinhook. Ex-double oak bourbon barrels here. You can already have an Annandale refill ex-bourbon. You can have an Annandale refill shave toasted and recharred STR red wine cask unpeated. You can have an Annandale refill Oloroso sherry butt unpeated. You can have an ex-tequila cask. You can have an ex-rum American cask unpeated. You can have What do we have here? We have all these exotic things at the end. We have an Ex-Chateau, Perret, Verres, Pomerol, Bordeaux, red wine. You have a Chateau Latour. You have here a barefaced Canadian whiskey cask. You have an Ex-Chateau, Morton, Rothschild. You have an tequila, Madeira, Zoltan, Palo Cortado, and so on. So if I wanted to buy at the moment a doubled oak barrel unheated, 3,600 pounds. So I think that's about what I paid as well back then for my Madeira. Might have been a little bit more because that's what it would cost to buy the cask. Of course, if 5 or 8 or 10 years, if it's with 10 years of insurance and 10 years of storage. And now if you want to actually keep it for 10 years, you have to pay, of course, the bottling costs, the excise taxes, the VAT, the import taxes, the transport. You can basically just add it on top. So you're going to be paying about 7,000 euros, 7,000 pounds for 200 some bottles maybe. After 10 years, maybe 185, depends on what that is. Now, I said I don't understand the strategy of Annandale. Why? Normally, at the very beginning of your distillery, you do this for the first 500 or for first 1,000 founders. They become evangelists for your brand, but it's a pain in the butt. You're dealing with every single cask owner, every single special wish, every single little person who comes by for a visit, every single person who has to not know how to get rid of their cask and how to bottle it and transport it to the country and all that. Most people don't have 13, 15 casks at the moment all over Europe. They don't understand the system normally, and I'm still learning the system. And so it's a pain in the butt dealing with all of us cask owners, to be honest. And most companies kind of say, all right, that's enough. I needed the beginning for the financial help and support and the push. But after that, it's like, no. And they're still doing it. And next year, in November of 2014, they're going to celebrate their 10th anniversary. And that's what really, really surprised me. All right, is that they're constantly doing that cask program thing. The other thing that surprised me is the publicity. So I went to, it's called whiskyexperts.net. That is the German language portal for, it's like Breaking Bourbon. It's like those other places you go and read about bourbon or read about whiskey at all. I just went and was, all right, what do we have about Annandale? And since 2018, when the first 2 casks were released, not a single word, not a single press release has reached Germany. Now, I've never really seen Annandale at any whiskey fairs in Germany ever. I must admit, I did interview and I did see it at the Dublin, Whiskey Life Dublin this year actually, 2023. The lady that I interviewed left the company 6 weeks later and went someplace else. She had been there for 4 years, which is one of those things. But Annandale really have to work on getting their brand out there. Now, it's difficult to do with single cask strength whiskey at a very, very high price. As I said, the introductory brands, 2 years ago, we were paying 139 euros. Now we're paying for the exact same thing, 75 euros. That's still a lot of money for something that's not a wow moment. And let's see if this is a wow moment. So you've listened to me rant and rave and talk and discuss the various problems at Annandale. Let's think about the whiskey itself, the doubled oak, the trap that I fell in and bought the bottle because I thought it was in 2 different casks. So, hey, that's a good price for that. That's wonderful. No, they just used the second cask for Woodford Reserve double oak. Now on the nose, there is, I must admit, the 61.6%, it doesn't burn. So well done there. There is a barley sugar sweetness moment going on in there. There is a lot of green apples and pears going on in here. That's the traditional characteristic of the new make as well as the spirit itself. So if I take a look at the notes of the 2017 Founder Selection Man of Words Double Oak that had 60.4% ABV, I think it was cask 1598, if I can see this correctly. I have to zoom in here. It says here, whoops, now I'm in the wrong place. It says here, wow, I really did go the wrong place here. That on the nose, I should be getting fresh, green, ripe apples and pears with malty notes. Got it. Over here, I think this has more of a character. It's an ex-bourbon cask, and yet there's more of a maltiness. There's more of an oakiness. Nothing screams wood, wood, wood. All right, so everything is very malt driven, very distillate driven, and not cask driven here. This has a little bit more of a depth, a little bit more of character, but 10%. So on the nose, C minus. All right. Do I get toffee? Do I get the caramel that was promised? Let's take a look. Cheers. The thing that I get is heat. 61.1%. It's almost trying to destroy my taste buds. Am I the stupid idiot that drank this without diluting it? Or were they the inconsiderate company that bottled it this way? We can fight about that one, but I really must admit that the 61.1, I've tried it 3 times at cask strength, straight from the bottle. It just doesn't do it for me. All right, so not what I want. If we bring this down like 53%, 50%, 55%, somewhere around there, it does turn into whiskey that is drinkable. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's still a very much summer, spring, clear type of whiskey. Um, a little bit of vanilla, a lot of barley grains going on in here. Um, Barley sugars, barley grains. A tiny, tiny little bit of a caramel, toffee, butterscotch moment going on in there, but really, really not even existent. It's still alcohol. It's still a little bit pepper. It's a spice going on in here. This is a C minus minus D plus whiskey, even with water. There's nothing here to write home about. Nothing to go, wow, that's a great whiskey. It's just like, oh yeah, it's like, yeah. I think other new distilleries, Lingdor's Abbey, King's Barnes, 1770, Glasgow, um, even McNean are doing better at the moment than anything I've tasted in the last couple of years from Annandale. And that pangs my heart with pain, as I have a cask there. I'm really looking forward to having that cask give me some great, great bottles to share with people. Um, as I said, C minus minus, D plus plus for taste. 75 euros is much, much better than 139 that we used to have to pay. But there are still bottles of this. This is a single cask. Um, there are still 12 shops that have the 2020 single cask that hit the German shores in the end of 2020, still 3 years later in stock. We should not have single casks 3 years later, especially since many, 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 many single casks have hit the shores since then. All right, and so and the prices are just constantly going down. So how does the store get rid of something? Oh, look, we had the 20, what was it, the 2017, is that right? The 2015, 139. The 2016, oh, it's only 100. The 2017 is only 90. Oh, the 2018 is only 75. How do you sell what's still left in the shelves from the years before when the price continues to drop because of people not buying it? And maybe we can find the price point that people would like to buy it. I think it's not the price. I think it's the flavor experience of this bottle. My personal opinion. All right, the 2015 here. Much more of a flavor intensity. This is just straightforward, almost bland. This has depth. This has character. A little bit of citrus. A little bit of a biscuit moment. Cookie dough. Much better. And this does not burn my taste buds off my tongue like this almost did. Ah, Annandale, where are you going? Annandale, what is happening? Annandale, will you bring a 10-year-old whiskey onto the market next year? Will it be affordable? Will we actually be able to buy it? What's going on with Annandale? When will you finally have a core range of products that we can actually enjoy and buy for a reasonable price? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American. Question of the day is, what is your favorite new distillery? New in this case is anything that is opened after 2010. I'm just going to put 2010 as a limit there. It's 13 years ago. So other people say 2020, 2000. I'm going to say 2010. What distillery is your favorite of the new kids on the block? Thank you very much for watching, liking, and subscribing. Bye-bye.